Hello everyone and welcome back to Krastorio 2! This is Otaku Showboat. If you have been enjoying the series thus far, please be sure to do all of the social and engagement stuff below the video. You can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/otakushowboat and support me on Patreon at patreon.com/otakushowboat if you are so inclined and able. So this is actually the second time I'm recording this part, because as it turns out, I have a green screen behind me that was pushed back a little bit too far, and there was this big black line here, like right in here, big blackness. The reality was seeping in, and I didn't even notice the entire video. So hey, here we are again. First off, thank you to the comment that pointed that out, that was missing. However, what they failed to notice, as the kitten, the dolly on my desk, pushes buttons, what they failed to mention is that this was also missing the electronic circuits in, that I have now noticed. And they said something about also being able to get mineral water out of regular water. Well, here's the thing. I have what is it really used for, so I can see how I can get mineral water. There's no mineral water out of water listed in what is it really used for. None. No, it's just out of matter. That, like, you can make the argument, oh, you can do water to matter? Maybe? I, I don't, no, I don't see it. But yeah, mineral water can be mined. It says mined from mineral water. That is a resource, so we have to wait for the resource to happen. Okay, I'm going to swap over to getting into the next inventory size upgrades, and then probably I had done the mining speed in the previous video, but I'm actually going to start queuing up these reach ones. Each one adds another one tile to the radius for each one of those techs. So yeah, I'm also going to fix a little issue here where there was a blockage on these stone bricks from when I had the circuits coming in there. And yeah, that should cover these basic fixes. Yeah, that should cover the basic fixes. What I'm going to do now is prioritize the production of other stuff. I'm also going to start making more of these. So last time I said that today I would be focusing a bit more on getting into rails and rail systems. I'm not actually going to do that today. Primarily, like, my initial goal is to upgrade my iron production here. What we're going to do today is we're going to double the mining of this ore patch, and then upgrade all of this to red belt with steel furnaces. Red belt and steel furnaces on this line, and upgrade the entirety of the bus line belt up to red. Now, we don't have enough red. Yeah, you may have noticed we don't quite have enough red for that. Red belts and such. So I'm going to prioritize this splitter to send all of the iron that actually gets here up into the gear wheels, and that's going to allow me to accrue additional belts. I have enough belt, I think, in order to do this. I am going to handcraft a lot more blue inserters for this, because I will need blue inserters from doing this upgrade. I also need 48 steel furnaces before I take that hike up there. Now, what's going to end up happening here is I'm going to blitz through everything that I did in my original recording of this video, and then I'll have to figure out what other things to do to fill the time. That video was 40 minutes long, and a lot of it was discussion and planning, and since I've now gone through a lot of my discussion and planning, and have a plan to execute on, and I know what I did in that video, we can start executing on those plans and just reviewing those plans that I've ultimately decided upon. And that was to do this upgrade for the iron in particular, so that I can better feed all this stuff, because it's going to use a lot of iron. And I'm going to want all of that stuff, as much as I possibly can get of that stuff. So let's go ahead and do this. Do this upgrade. It's a good time to upgrade all the stuff. I do have enough mining drills as well that I don't have to worry about the mining drills. What I will do first, however, is upgrade these yellow belts up to red. And what this is going to do is it's going to give me yellow belts. It's going to give me the yellow belts to upgrade / add to the mining situation. I can add to my mining using these yellow belts. All of these yellow belts. There's a few to upgrade. I don't need to upgrade the coke, the coal. That's one thing I do not need to upgrade. I need to upgrade like all of this. All of this needs to be red. Even the last doohickeys down here needs to be red. And then of course this entire belt line needs to be red belt. But I will do that once I've finished up here. Okay. I do need to upgrade all of these inserters too, and then upgrade to the steel furnaces. Lots to do today. But one thing that I did note last time I recorded this video, / something I need to note now, is that building rails is going to be pretty tedious until at least Blue Science, once I'm able to pick up the construction bots. Once I can get construction bots, things will get a bit simpler, shall we say. And yes, that is what I want. Just copy this whole thing and paste it down there. Yay. We did a thing. Give me the power poles and we'll do this. So building rails is going to be incredibly tedious, which is why I'm going to build rails primarily off screen. And what we'll do is we'll plan out and build the actual factories / mining setups on screen, because I think that's going to be a little bit easier for folks, / more enjoyable for folks to watch, rather than watching me hand place thousands and thousands and thousands of units of rails and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of units of rail signals and power poles and all of that good stuff. What we will discuss, however, is my choice of rail system that I have decided to use for this. I will have to look up that name again, though. That's one unfortunate thing. I have to actually go back. That's the name. All right. And I need a red splitter here and here. Phew! That should be that. So each one of these is going to be producing 15 iron per second. Each of these setups, guaranteed 15 items per second. What we will notice is that these lights will be yellow towards the bottom here. There will be yellow lights. That is because we do have the first level of mining productivity, and we will be able to produce 16.5 theoretically. We don't actually get 16.5. We don't actually get 16.5. Why? I've mentioned this before, but just belt speed versus the ability for the drill to output units of ore when a productivity cycle finishes. You'll have 2 units of ore that need to be removed from the mining drill before it can begin its next cycle. It doesn't just continue its next cycle even though it has stuff in it. It's not going to keep going if it is full of stuff. So it has to wait for the one item to empty, and then the next item has to empty. And it's not just instantaneous. There is a brief period of time in which they do not move, and that makes it not equal 16.5. That 16.5 is if they were able to continuously operate. And the only ways to get around that would be to directly load into chests, and I will do a build at some point that will directly load into chests. But for now, we've got what we've got for this build. So I am clearly going to take as much of that red belt as possible, and then have to go back and grab even more red belt. I am sort of limited a bit by the red belt here. I did build a car previously, so I will at least build this car, but as it turns out, I can't do anything with this car yet. I sort of can't really do anything with the vehicle, until I get into stuff and things. Until I get the actual fuel for it. Whoops. So cars actually can't accept any other fuel besides dedicated fuel for it. It has its own fuel that it uses that's going to require doing some petrochemical stuff. Let's make sure that I have all the proper splitters as well, because that will limit the throughput here of all this stuff. We do have a full 30 per second of stuff, by the way, going through. I could just put this second line of yellow belt all the way down, since I'm pretty sure I have a lot more yellow belt than I do red belt right now. But we'll just do it with reds. We'll just keep on keeping on with the red belts. We are eventually going to get to a point here where yeah, this will have some overflow, and then beyond this, it's not going to matter as much having red belt versus yellow, because we'll be below 15 per second. I do, however, still want to upgrade the entire line to red, just as stuff begins to overflow and such. I want that throughput. I also want this to store a few more than 200, just like I want this to store a few more than what it's currently storing. This is fine, I think, for now. Maybe another stack of you. These aren't limited. They could be, I guess, but whatever. Everything else should be okay. And then I did have a big discussion. I do remember having this nice long discussion on resource efficiency. Resource efficiency of the underground belts versus just 11 units of red belt. So 11 units of individual belts at the red level would be 55 iron plates, whereas a set of underground belts would be 59 iron plates. It's a 4-plate difference. It is a 4-plate difference. So in terms of resource efficiency, still at this point in the game, better to keep on using the standard belt. However, this is 11 entities on the ground. This is 2 entities on the ground. So performance is the key here. Probably better to just have the fewer underground entities overall. I would suspect that's probably better. I'm actually gonna just throw these yellow belt things. That's not what goes in there. You go there. You go there. You go in here. Cool. That was the discussion I wanted to have. I ended up spending a long time talking about that in take one. But hey, here we are with stuff and things with twice the amount of iron rolling on down the line as before. We're basically fully upgraded at this point. Just finish off these last little bits here. Oh, I didn't end up with red splitters. Red splitters, please. I would like the red splitters. Just a few of them would be good to have. Just to wrap up those upgrades there. Okay. Continuing on. The next thing to discuss would be the rails as we blitz through our progression for the day today. We have already doubled our iron output. Can I just make that clear? Within 16.5 minutes, we have doubled our iron output to help speed all this along. Okay, the rail system. I am not going to be doing a grid-based rail system. I have decided that, and I have decided upon the actual blueprint that I will be using, the set of blueprints I will be using, and that is this Foundation Rails blueprint by, I believe the name is Kino. I believe the name is Kino. Yes, Kano, excuse me, Kano 96. Kano 96. That's the person who has made this particular blueprint book. I will be using the length 3 right-hand drive. I don't want to straight up remove that from the foundation rails. What I want to do is go in and I want to create a copy of this book in my game blueprints, and I want to have it on my hotbar. So, what is the benefit of this blueprint book? As I got an Ollie to come say hi again. Hello, Ollie. Yes, you're squirmy boy. You're a squirmy boy. Walking across my screen. So the great thing about this blueprint book is that it is using the new features of the game. It uses the grid size and absolute reference point by default and is all set up for that purpose. It is also set up to use red and green wires on every single one of the big electric poles, and it's chunk aligned and designed around the concept of chunks. Hello, my Ollie, my sweet, sweet Ollie on the back of my chair. It's worth it just to have the 6-month-old kitty cat, right? Right? So, the way that this particular blueprint book is also designed is so that you can easily transition things like a curve directly into a T intersection. See that? See how the curve upgrades easily into a T intersection? And then a T intersection can upgrade directly into a four-way intersection. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? It upgrades very well. And it's chunk aligned as well. So that's all of that. That's all of that. Now, one thing that it doesn't really have is like a an exit entry. So for like a station. So the idea, I guess, is that I would use the three-way here and just make my station as like a this as this. This will be like the combined entrance exit, I suppose. Then some custom station based off of this as the entrance exit way for that. So yeah, that is that. There's also this in here, this RoboPort thingy that I'm not gonna use in the slightest. It's like, okay, we have a centrally aligned grid. Cool. I'm not gonna build as a grid in this particular situation. What I am going to do though is have a central line, and I have to decide what the alignment is going to be on that. I am going to say that we are going to have a central line of rail, and it's going to exist down here, right here. And it's going to, like, it's not going to care about what's in the way. This central line, this is going to be our quote-unquote main bus. This is going to be our rail, the main rail line. All spurs will come off of this. Everything will meet up here. That'll be our main dude. Our main doohickey. All other rails will go through here. Now, am I gonna build that on screen? Hell no. We're not going to be actually building that on screen today. What we are going to be building though, as I shift C all over the place, is, well, at least planning out what's going to be the additional mining and such. So, let's have a look-see. Where am I going to do a lot of mining? I think I want to tap that copper in particular and that coal in particular. As for the iron, most likely this iron right here, and or this iron. Probably both, and they'll likely load into the same station. Of course, there's plenty of options for stone down here as well, and lots of options for uranium. I just have to note that uranium is going to require sulfuric acid in order to mine the stuff, and raw, rare metals will also require its own fluid in the form of chlorine to mine, which I can actually get rare earth metals now. That's another thing. I do have that ability to void hydrogen, so I can actually do the chlorine stuff from the salt water. I'm assuming it's like saltwater electrolysis, like the way that is for getting into the chlorine. Yeah, it's it's essentially saltwater electrolysis. Like I get the abstraction here. So you're sort of all in one. You're combining sand and water to make a salty water. We're going to assume that there's salt in sand, some sodium chloride in sand, and that we are then electrolyzing this salty water into chlorine and hydrogen. There's a bit of abstraction there, combining a couple steps into one. But hey, I'll take it. I shall take it and accept it, and we will be good to go. We shall be glorious. Everything will be glorious. Okay, what do I need? And what do I want? And what would be good to have? Additional inserters are always appreciated. I will grab all of them. I'm still waiting on stuff to accrue. Still waiting on stuff to accrue, so that's gonna take a hot minute. I do have a lot of iron being spent on all of this type of stuff up here. I will build the rail system off screen. That's gonna be one of those non-negotiables that's gonna have to happen that way. You are the gear wheels, right? So many gear wheels. My goodness, it's almost like I want to do this, but then I'm having to upgrade this to red. Yes, that has been upgraded to red for where it's useful. Now I can make the red splitters, ideally. Oh boy. Oh joy, oh bliss. That 6 now is producing 9 and consuming 9. That's the other thing to note. Producing and consuming 9. And yeah, give me splitters. I like splitters. Okay. What to get more of? Well, I think the answer is obvious. More of everything. But in particular, I want more iron. Yeah, you may have noticed. Well, we're going to have to set up a dedicated, like, iron on network, copper on network, coal on network. Ideally, also circuits on network, steel on network. Wood can be done on site wherever, but there is this concept of not repeating yourself. So that might get its own spot just wherever to make the wood, but we shall see. I wanted to automate my greenhouses. You. Wood, glass, iron, and automation cores. Hi. Hello, automation cores. I'm going to officially move those up now for the red stuff. Alright, that'll be automation cores, if the iron ever makes its way this way. Glass, wood, and iron beams. Oh. There's an ollie being an ollie. There's an ollie being an ollie. Duh. Beams. Beams. Iron beams. There we go. Iron beams. And then a combined belt with glass, I think, is going to be right in there, just as one of our final things to automate. You are actually that line? Yes, and where's wood? Wood is all the way back here. Gee, thanks for being all the way back here. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's do this and get some automation going on those greenhouses. Then I can make wood on demand anywhere. Anywhere and everywhere. Okay. Ba ba ba. Ba ba ba. Oh, that's the end. So, yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah, sure. We'll just do that. That's the end as well, isn't it? Yeah, so why would I have not done that instead and saved all of these resources? Yeah, there we go. They're making noise. The kittens, they're chasing each other. They're playing. They're playing with each other. They're doing all the stuffs, being obnoxious. Thus are kittens. Yes, that uses a lot of iron. Iron? What? Oh, yeah. You know, it would help if I actually placed the steel furnaces. That would help if I had actually placed the steel furnaces and actually had a full 30 per second of throughput of the iron. Great job! Always got to have some sort of a mistake in every single one of these videos for people to point out in the chat below the video. I should Always be prepared for that. Someone's going to point out something. But fortunately, we caught this at the end of this video. We managed to catch it, so now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. As soon as everything starts filling up and flowing, we should start to see that this is the full red belt throughput. The full red belt throughput. That won't take very long to cascade through the entirety of the system. That will not take too long because it's twice as fast as previously. Still going to take a hot minute to go all the way down the belt and start accruing stuff. But yeah, that, as they say, is that. We are 30 minutes into the video, so we are at that point where we should be thinking about ending off the day here. So, with that, folks, I would like to thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Showboat. If you have enjoyed today's video, please be sure to do all the social and engagement stuff down below. You can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/otakushowboat, as well as support me on Patreon at patreon.com/otakushowboat. If you are so inclined and able, off-screen I will be building out the rail system to specific areas where I want to do some tapping into ores, as well as into like 2 areas where I will be doing the processing of ores, because you never know, I might need iron ore or some other ore type as ore for certain things, rather than have it always be processed into iron. There might be some things that I'd rather do, or some process I may want to switch to at some point, rather than directly casting into plates. It would be easier to have these as separate processes rather than have them together. Similarly with copper ore, we might need it for something, but at least there might be a separate process to have to consider that would require a new build, etc., etc. So, yeah, with that, I will see you all on the next one.